Okay, so you shouldn't have basic knowledge of any databases, that uh, how it is working and some bit of architecture, that's it. So basic of any, or maybe Oracle or something, preferably Oracle, because my training could be more concentrated on Oracle. Okay, so why we are using GoldenGate? GoldenGate is a replication tool, and to start, I want to tell you that what is replication. Replication is the creation of maintenance of multiple copies of the same databases, and the changes are applying at one side are captured there and then forwarded to the next side. So just assume we have one database. I name it like prod. Fine. So what is replication? Replication is keeping a copy of that database in some other location. Right? And all the changes which are applying on prod is on prod database, that is being applied to that replica database as well. So all the things I apply on prod moves to the that replica database as well. So this is a replication. So why I am doing this replication? I am doing replication because there are number of reasons to it. To use it as a failover system, if this prod is crashed, so I can use that dev database immediately, and my users are not complaining. Maybe like distributing the load, so all the load is putting on prod, so I can divide the load between these two databases. Fine. So I can use one for reporting purposes and some other purpose, or maybe providing a fast or local access to the shared data. Fine. So if the data is now the data is on the two databases, two servers, so whichever is faster for the local access, I can use for that. So there's a small history about GoldenGate. This company was started in 1980, and Oracle Corporation acquired this in 2009. Okay, and this is mainly started with just for the replication purpose, for capturing the data on the source and then applying on the target. Okay, for this. So you must be wondering that there are a lot of other things with, like in GoldenGate for replication. Why we need to purchase GoldenGate? Why we should purchase GoldenGate when we have so many other tools within database as well? So I don't know about other databases, so I just can give you example of Oracle. Like we have DataGuard in Oracle. We have DataGuard is one of the replication tool that when the source is replicated to the target. Now even we have active DataGuard. So in active DataGuard, what is happening that all the changes that are applied on this goes to the target database, and this can be in open mode as well. So otherwise we can use it for the reporting purposes. We are already distributing the load. We can distribute the load. We can use a failover system. Then we can provide fast. So all the purposes are solved by DataGuard. So why we are using GoldenGate? GoldenGate is specifically used when we are using for a heterogeneous mix of databases, right? So like we have Oracle at one end, and we are replicating on a SQL server, or maybe DB2, or maybe MySQL, or any other. Maybe Oracle in different versions. I have Oracle 11G, I have Oracle 9, I own the target. Or I can have different operating system, MySQL, Windows, HP, Sun Solaris. So there are a lot of databases or operating system it supports. So it's something like is generally used when there are heterogeneous mix of databases and cross-platform. Fine. So number one use is this. Second use is something like zero downtime. I'm migrating from one my server to the other server, and I want to do a zero downtime. Fine. So if I talk about RMAN, so there are two major uses. In case of replication, I can have heterogeneous environment. Second is the second main use is why the companies are ready to invest in GoldenGate, purchase the expensive license GoldenGate. It's like when there is zero downtime requirement. Zero downtime means I just assume that I want to migrate my database from one to this, from one maybe Sun Solaris box, from Windows box to Sun Solaris box. Right? Either I can do RMAN, or I can just say I take a backup of this and restore into that. So this all require outage. Fine. So I need outage because the changes which are we currently make on that will not be replicated to the target. So I all need our outage for that. I will take a backup, restore in the target. Alright. For this GoldenGate, I need not to do that. I can take a backup, restore into the target, then I can keep these two in sync. Fine. Source and target, I keep these in sync, and at a good day, when the activity is less, I can do a switch over. So there can be zero downtime, or you can say very minimum, maybe 2 minutes or 5 minutes. That's it. So these two top bullet points are majorly that why we are using GoldenGate, why people are ready to invest on GoldenGate. Okay. Now third point. Now, GoldenGate was developed. I think you can just see that 1980 they started development. Since 1980 they only concentrated on replication, nothing else. They only on replication. So they have made lot of things in GoldenGate. So they can replicate in any number of ways. Okay, like on distributed application as well. So I can have one source and I can have 3 targets. Fine. This is possible with other technologies as well, right? But bidirectional is not possible with other technologies. It is the software is providing bidirectional as well. I can have one source, right? I cannot call it a source now. I have a prod one, or I can say I have database naming as railways one, fine, or bank one. I have a database bank one and it is bank two. So both the database are in sync now. So all the changes that I am applying on bank one are going to bank two, and all the changes that I am applying to bank two go to bank one. Fine. So these two can be in sync. So data can be replicated in bidirectional format, or it can replicate on the distributed application as well. I have one prod and 3 dev database. So I can say one prod and dev, test, and one more dev. Okay. So like all the things applied on prod go to dev, test, and dev at the same time. Okay. So like I have I can heterogeneous, zero downtime, distributed application, bidirectional format, offload activity from production to lower cost secondary system, that current data and real-time reporting. Fine, so I can offload it to the dev system. It supports bulk data loads. If you have studied it on bulk, what is bulk data load is? It's like inserting a lot of data at the same time through files, through normal text files. It supports that. It allows to bulk data loads. It provides data compression and encryption across the network to provide us the security that data is not being hacked by some other system. So it can provide encryption technology when we are transferring from source to target, and also provides compression to reduce the network usage. It provides different exception handlings and data conflicts. So exception handling would be used in case of the bidirectional format, when both are in a bidirectional way, like source and target, right? So there is a possibility of exceptions, because when we are doing bidirectional, changes made on source, or if I update a statement on source, update a statement on bank 1 and bank 2 at the same time, there can be a cause of data conflict. So provide various mechanisms to handle it, which will do it later. Enables fast recovery after interruption. That means that in case there is a network failure between source and target, and there is no loss of data, fine. So and it automatically recovers it. So you need not to do anything. If there is a network failure between source and target, it keeps on doing its job, and once the network is up, it provides a recovery. So no data is lost. Maybe there is an interruption for days or anytime. Fine. So these are all the customers which are using GoldenGate. All kind of customers, like in all streams, different industries. Healthcare, we have this list. Banking and finance, UBS, Visa, US Bank, Switzerland Bank is also using it. Bank of what is it? UBS, United Bank of Switzerland, Visa, e-commerce retail. These are the all brand names of US. Communication, Reliance in India is using it. Fine. Even HDFC is also using it these days. Bank of America is a big customer. So we have a replication across 4 geographically dispersed data. Hot failover to central disaster recovery center. Zero downtime during migrations. Load balancing across data centers. Uptime for 18,000 ATMs. And reduced risk with the activity configuration. 100,000 plus transactions per second. Fine. So this is the list of databases it supports. You can just see that already most of them are covered. Oracle, all versions of Oracle, DB2, Microsoft SQL Server, Sybase ASC, Teradata, Inscribe, SQL MP or SQL MX. Some MySQL is not completely supported. Target can be MySQL, but source is not. Source cannot be MySQL, right? So we have for Target we have another list. So all listed above plus this MySQL times 10 NetC Greenplum HP and any other ODPC competitor database. So now all these operating systems are supported. All the versions of Windows, all the versions of Linux, Sun Solaris, HP, IBM, okay, AX. So this was the thing I was talking about. These are the topologies it is supporting. Unidirectional is very simple. I think you know what is unidirectional is. One is source, one is target. Now bidirectional is no source, no target. Is something like changes made on one go to B, B changes made on B go back to A. Now this is load balancing. So like we have broadcast, we have database A, B, C, D. So changes made on A go to B, C, and D. Consolidation, changes made on all these three databases go to these databases. Cascading and peer-to-peer, changes made on A go to B, changes made on B go to C, and changes made on C go to A. So any kind of things that which you think in replication is possible in GoldenGate, right? Even like actually the replication happens on the basis of schemas. So you can just configure in this way that I have 10 schemas for this, 10 schemas for this, 10 schemas for this. Like 10 schemas applicable to this database, 10 schemas applicable to this database, 10 schemas applicable to this database. Even I can divide on DML commands as well. So only inserts or only deletes or only updates are possible as well. I can even put some condition that okay, only Scott.emp is replicated, that too when salary is greater than 10,000, right? So I can put any number of things, whatever you can imagine in replication. It's almost everything is possible in GoldenGate, right? Now these are the all we can say components, the major components how GoldenGate works. Like we have a GGSCI tool is a software command interface, which is GGS is known as GoldenGate software command interface, through which you can prepare, extract, prepare all the kind of configuration you can do. It's a command line tool, like you work on command prompt or you work on a Unix shell. Now you can work on this prompt, on the GGSA prompt, for creating scripts, all kind of scripts. Now these two, the rest two, director and Veridata, are the graphical tools which are not very mature enough right now, because but still they are running. But organization need to purchase a separate license for it. Fine. So just remember that, because most of the organization doesn't purchase it. So you need, anyways, you need to learn GGSCI, how to work on GGSCI, right? So director is basically a tool which is doing all kind of things, most of the things which GGSCI does. And Veridata is used for the to just see that there is a data discrepancy or not. Tarek tries to claim that he cannot hear. Anybody else who cannot hear? Tarek, you can still not hear? It's GoldenGate components, how it works. You can just see this diagram. I'm just showing a unidirectional format. When we have a source database and a target database, you can just see the source and target. Now how it works, maybe I'm just giving you a demo as how it works. Maybe from the first session we will proceed ahead with this slide only. Okay, I'll explain you again the architecture building. It's not very complex to understand. It's not like Oracle architecture which takes us weeks to understand. It's a simple architecture. We have source database. Now we have a capture process, or we call it as a extract process. Fine, it reads from the transaction logs. It reads the redo log files of Oracle, transaction logs of SQL Server, and I don't know what it is called in DB2 or just a change the log files. You must be knowing in whichever expertise you have in your database, you must know what a log file is. The changes which are made are recorded in that log file, right? So it reads that log files. It can be offline log file or can be an online log file, like redo log file or the archive file. A process is there which reads it from it and then writes that into a file. Changes read from that and then write to a file. This file is known as the trail file. You can see that. Capture reads from the source, writes to a trail file. Fine. So there are two processes on the source and two processes on the target. Alright. Two processes on the source, like capture and pump on the source and collector on delivery on the target. So trail file is there. Now pump will read it from the trail file. We transfer the data on the help of TCP protocol. Okay. Now this data is collected by process known as the collector. Collector again writes to one more trail file. Right. One more trail file. Now trail file is read by the delivery process and is finally being replicated, is finally being fired on the target database. Right. So we come back to it. Extract reads from the redo log and writes to the trail file. Now you must be thinking that why I am having a trail file on the source? Why not extract process reading it from it and then transferring directly to the target? We can do that. That is also possible. Trail file is optional, but I use trail file so that if there is a network failure, if this network in between crashes, so what will happen? It will not be able to send it, but log file will keep on moving forward, right? So it will keep on reading, but it will not able to send it. Okay, so it will not able to send it, then what will happen? There will be loss of data. Fine. So if there is a network outage, then whenever it will come back, now what will happen? That the data is lost. In that, maybe I need to restart the extract process and I have to shift it back to that point in time. So maybe we have to do something else. Okay, so I should have a trail file over here. It is also like distributing the load. So now there is one more process to send the data. So it will fast the process, right? And now the collector writes to the trail files. So I can skip it as this as well, right? Now collector writes to trail file and trail files. So these trail files are in canonical formats. I don't know because we have ASCII formats, canonical formats, right? All these stuff. These are in the canonical formats, delivery and then target. Now, in addition to that, we have a manager process on both the ends, right? The manager process on both the ends. These manager process is the responsibility manager process is to manage them, monitor them. If there is any error, then report them into log files and restart them. It crashes, like what the cluster viewer does in rack, right? If you have any background of Oracle rack, the cluster does in rack. So it monitors these processes, extract and pump. Here it monitors the collector and delivery. It runs on a port number. Now pump is what is pump is doing? Pump should have a IP address of this server and the port number of manager process, right? So pump should have a port number of manager and the IP address of the server. So only then it can send the data, right? So this is all about GoldenGate, and this is a demo session. We will again from the first session, which is scheduled I think 2 days after that on Monday. Then what we will do, we will start from this GoldenGate components. So if you have any questions, you can ping me right now. So any questions? Sudha, we have name of Aurora in the list, and Tariq. Yeah, tell me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you say one is Oracle, one is SQL Server. Tariq, it is was started 8 a.m. IST, and it has 30 minutes, I think, now to start. Yeah. So my front-end application is designed to connect to event 1. Fine. Fine. So how this architecture can provide failover? So we need to change the configuration at the what do you say, at the application end. So now connect to the SQL Server rather than to Oracle now. So we have, maybe we're using JDBC or something like this to connect it. So that in that JDBC we need to change the driver or something. Yeah, you need to make it like something like which can connect to that server. Then what is the use of it, right? So you need to have application which is supporting both the databases. That all things you need to keep in mind while you're designing the application. That I'm keeping a failover as SQL Server, something like this. Generally, what happens that people from which are running on okay, so you know design this happen. You need to change the name of the driver or something, which we have the connection string we have in JDBC, which is a Java application. We have a connection string. So in that connection string, you need to make sure that this is supported. You need to be keep ready with the things of SQL Server, and at the time when the Oracle is down, you just need to change it and upgrade the application, restart the application. Yeah, maybe I'm not very good in application, but the connection string is what is supporting it, right? So the connection string you need to have on SQL Server. We can change it immediately whenever it crashes, or you can write two set of codes for it. Yeah. So what if front end is going to PLC to the database? What if the front end is executing PLC code in the database? Right. That is a question. Yeah, just think that it is a supporting it, and it is not like I can't do anything about it now. If it's PL SQL on the database and PL SQL is not supported by a SQL Server, then what GoldenGate can do that? GoldenGate is here to provide that. Yeah, it is capable enough that it is the Oracle and SQL Server are in sync. So I can just think that we have two versions of databases, right? So I have one version of database like 9.9 and one version of database Oracle 11G. So I have upgraded my production server to 11G, but I don't want to spend money, which is a failover system, to upgrade it to 11G as well, right? So you can think in that way as well. So in that case, GoldenGate is supporting, right? Now I want to move my Windows SQL Server to like Oracle Sun Solaris. I can use GoldenGate 1.0 downtime. Yeah, PL SQL code syntax is different. Yeah, I know that because I've worked a bit on SQL Server. I worked for a year on SQL Server. PL SQL code syntax is different. So you have to code in that way. If you're really looking for that, you have Oracle and SQL Server, because GoldenGate can't help in that things. it will give the error. If SQL now SQL will execute on SQL Server, it will give the error. So GoldenGate can't have the GoldenGate just that it is maintaining that it is cross-platform. Yeah. So it is enable that changes made on this move to change it to second database, that too, which is different, maybe different operating system as well. Okay, welcome. Anything else? Any questions? Any other questions? Should we end the session if there's no questions? Okay, so we are ending the session. That's it, and I think we will start from Monday, and we'll start with components again. Tariq, you can discuss the cost about this with Hitendra. I'm not the right person. Okay, so I'm only here for training. So you can call. They are managing the cost, so you can just talk to them. Fine. So what we're doing that we'll start from Monday, and we'll start with the GoldenGate components again. Fine. So thanks. Thanks. And we would be having session would be around 45 minutes to 1 hour, and demo including. So I will prepare a setup on VMware on my machine, and will show you how you can do the replication. So better you prepare the setup at your end as well to practice on the same day. Okay. Thanks. Bye.